Hey, YouTube, come on in, come on in, come on in for another episode of Car Chronicles in the PM, the evening edition. Come on in. We got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. Come on in, like, share, and subscribe. Come on in. We are going to talk about all things Kilmar, Abrego Garcia. Come on in. This man is fighting for his life, y'all. Come on in, come on in. Y'all, today is D-Day. Come on in. This is the week. Let's see. Diddy didn't had his day. Diddy just finished fighting for his life. Kilmar, Abrego Garcia is now fighting for his life. So come on in. We're gonna talk about it. His attorney, the attorneys are due back in court today after a court appearance on Monday. So come on in. We're gonna talk about it because yeah, the attorney, no, the judge was not happy with the attorneys for the Trump administration. So come on in. We're going to talk all about it. I'm going to give you the tea. I'm going to give you the 411 to let you know what's going on with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Listen, what they say, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Never in a million years, I am sure this man thought that he will be sent to the motherland. Come on in to the what they call it, the diaspora. He going to a place, y'all. I ain't never been in. I ain't never even been to them parts where he headed to. Come on in. Trump first was like, we sending you to Uganda. Well, first of all, he first went to El Salvador. He didn't want to be at home because that is technically home. Here, I don't want to be in El Salvador. Trump like, all right, then, with fine ass, you're going to the diaspora. You're going to Africa. You're going to Uganda. Y'all, when I say it gets worse and worse every time that man holler what he don't want to do. Now this man, now they telling him he going to a place that y'all I ain't never even heard of. Y'all see the title of this video? That's where he going to. What they call it? Eswatini? What the hell is Eswatini? Y'all, I promise you, when I was like, what happened to Uganda? I thought he was going to Uganda. So what the hell is what is an Eswat? Y'all, I had to go to the internet, type that ish in. And when I tell you, when I went to images to see what it was looking like over there, all I could think about is the color purple. Y'all remember that scene with Whoopi Goldberg at the end? She got connected with her kids. And then the son, remember, y'all remember? And she got connected with, she had like 3 kids. I guess them kids that she had with Mr. And at the end, the son was like, Mama, Mama. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that scene when the son and Whoopi, and they had that little scene and Whoopi seeing her kids. Y'all, this is the color purple. For y'all who don't know nothing about the color purple, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you if you don't the hell I'm talking about. Eswatini, where Abrego Garcia is supposed to be headed, that is what it's giving. It's giving color purple. It's giving, no, we don't know where buildings are. No. Why we got to wear all them clothes? Like, y'all, Google, y'all check out this place. Check out this place where this man headed to. He finna be crying like them people was crying in Color Purple. How they was crying when they seen their mama for the first time. Y'all, this is how Abrego finna be he finna be snot nose crying. He is going to be snot nose crying when he get over there in them parts. I know he ain't ready. Hell, I ain't even ready for him to be over there in them parts. But he heading to Africa. So y'all, today is the day they got to go back to court. They went to court on Monday. So peep game. They went to court on Monday. Abrego attorney was there. Abrego wasn't there. Apparently he wasn't there. I don't think he was there. But his attorney was there. And then, you had the Trump administration attorneys were there. Child, they didn't have no receipts. The judge then cussed them out because she like, wait a minute, what the hell y'all thought we was gonna be doing today? Y'all didn't think I was gonna be asking y'all no questions? Why y'all ain't got no answers to the questions I got? The questions I have is, what the hell is an Eswatini? What is an Eswatini? Who there? How'd y'all come up with this? Of all places, how we go from Uganda to Eswatini? That was the questions that this judge had for them lawyers. And y'all, they did not have any answers. She even allowed for them to have like a 30-minute break. You know how you like, all right, then I'm gonna give you 30 minutes so you can get your ish together. Come back and holler at me. Tell me something. Because this shit ain't making sense. Child, she gave them attorney 30 minutes and they had still didn't come out with a goddamn thing. They didn't come back with nothing. She was like, all right, then, y'all playing with me. The Trump administration wanted to, they were like, yo, listen, Judge, we on a government shutdown. It's been on and popping. It's shut down. We need more time. We ain't been able to focus on him. We got more important things to be worried about. Give us more time. Judge was like, nah, F that. We ain't give you no more. No. Y'all come on in here, like this video. Judge was like, no more time. But what I will do, I'll give you some more time to get your paperwork in order and to come back up here on Wednesday, by Wednesday afternoon. That's today, you all. So the Trump administration had till today to return to court with receipts, documents to support the plans for Kilmar Abrego Garcia to go to Eswatini, Africa, y'all. So that's in the southern parts of Africa. So he went from going to Uganda, which is believe in the northern parts, to now Trump like, nah, we finna push his ass to the south. He going to the south. He going to the south. So y'all know it's probably hot as hell out there. He going to the south. So now the judge was like, all right, then bet. Y'all saying this is where he's going? Let me see the paperwork. Let me see the plans surrounding him going to this location, because I need to know that this is legit and y'all not just up in here just running game. So today is supposed to be the day where the Trump administration is supposed to produce documents to support the plan for Kilmar Abrego Garcia to go to southern parts of Africa. Also, let me add this, y'all. Not only do she want them to bring that paperwork, she was like, I'm going to need for y'all to bring me a witness. I need this person to be able to cooperate with y'all saying and to back this idea of this plan that you have with this man getting sent to Africa. Like, I need to know that this didn't just come up just this week, that this was already a plan. You've been talking to the leaders over there. This is approved. Like, she wants to see all the details. She wants to see all the details. And they have until today, the afternoon, to produce this information to her. So, listen, she ain't done there. She ain't done. She was like, and then after that, I want to see everybody. I want to see you all back on Friday. Because when you come back on Friday, the person you bring in today on Wednesday, they are going to get on the stand and testify to what it is that you're alleging as far as these plans with this man, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, going over to the southern parts of Africa, the diaspora, the motherland, whatever you want to call it. She wants to make sure that this is real, this is legit. Now, some of y'all might be like me, to where y'all like, well, whatever happened to Uganda? Because I'm like, what happened to him going to Uganda? So when I was listening to his attorney speak to the news, he was pretty much alluding to like the whole Uganda thing wasn't like real. It's almost like the Trump administration was just being difficult. And what did he call it? Let me see. He got a name for it, y'all, that he's accusing Trump administration. He's calling it vindictive prosecution. He said this is a vindictive prosecution. So he was like, he feels like the whole Uganda situation, it was never like real, where they had plans and it was approved by the leaders over there for him to go over there. So when things start getting real and they had to, start making moves, and that's when the it moved from Uganda to Eswatini. So he's like, he not even sure if the whole Eswatini thing is real, because he was like, it don't make any sense. That man don't speak a lick of that man don't speak a lick of whatever they speaking over there in Africa. Hell, he don't even speak English. That's what got me, y'all. That's what took me out after he got out from when they had him in jail, and when he got out about a month ago, however long he got out, and he did his little press conference, and they had that translator there talking. I said, I know you effing lying. This man been over here doing the absolute most all these years, and he hasn't even learned English. Y'all, I be just trying to make sense of this. How you been over here all these years since you were like 16? This man's what, around 30 now? Early 30s, maybe 33. I can't remember exactly his age because I've been covering him for a little bit now. I started covering him when he first got shipped off to El Salvador. So I've done multiple videos on this man, like breaking down like his past, what their with his criminal background is, all of that, y'all, all of that. Make sure you subscribe to this channel because I get into the tea. I'm not always driving when I'm talking about, this is Car Chronicles. But y'all, I be coming with the receipts. This man has been doing the absolute most for a long time. And you know who can confirm that he been doing the absolute most? Mrs. Garcia, his wife, the one he was over there putting hands and feet on in front of the children. Yes, it is documented that this man has been abusive to his wife. She went on 2 different occasions to try to get restraining orders. You may ask, well, whatever happened to the restraining order, Sheik? Well, what happened is that she never would show up to the court date to finalize the process to actually be able to walk away with the official restraining orders. Y'all see what I'm saying? Because y'all, with these restraining orders, fortunately, I ain't never had to file one. But from what I've learned how they work is that you go and put in like this request to like have a restraining order put on someone. So it's, I guess you're filing it. Then it goes through this like approval process. Then you have to show up to court, all of that. Well, that part of the show up for court, she didn't do that part. So because she didn't do that part, she didn't complete the process. So that's why she was never granted the restraining order. Yes, this man has been abusive. So again, this isn't made up stuff. This is documented. This is documented. And it's very sad. It's very sad. So now, when I learned that he might be on his way to the diaspora, my question is, is the missus and the kids going to the diaspora with him? How many of y'all think that she finna get on a plane too and head to Eswatini with her husband, where it's hot as damn Hades over there? Y'all think that Mexican woman, the one who's a legal citizen of the U.S., y'all think she going to Africa with her man? Remember, this is the same man that was putting hands and feet on her. Would you follow somebody who was putting hands and feet on you to Eswatini, South Africa? I'm telling y'all, it looked like it reminds me of The Color Purple. Y'all Google Eswatini, look at them images, and just, baby, that ain't what you want. I know CCOT ain't what you want either, but damn it, that ain't what I want either. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes is the moral of the story. Abrego's attorney tried to get the judge to reopen his immigration case, a past immigration case that he had, but that was denied. That was denied. And then the Trump administration's request to want to try to delay, the whole process and things like that, that was also denied as well. This judge sick of all of them. This judge is sick of all of them. She was like, we about to wrap this up now. And what she told the Trump administration is that they gonna F around and have her just go ahead and release him from immigration custody. How about that? Because she's like, if you all by Friday do not provide me the supporting documents that shows a true plan of this man being sent to Eswatini, Africa, I'm going to cut him loose. Ain't nobody got time to be playing with y'all. So Kilmar Garcia could very well get released, but it's going to be contingent on if the Trump administration will be able to come through and produce the documents that she want to see. Listen, just like I'm trying to see something. I'm trying to see something. Don't come up in here talking about what you gonna do and you ain't got nothing. No, you ain't talk hollered at the damn leaders over there in the Eswatini where you said you trying to damn send them. Cause word on the curb is that that's why he ain't going to Uganda. Cause them folks over there in Uganda didn't say that he can come over there like you said. Y'all see what I'm saying? But peep this. His attorney was like, Costa Rica did tell him, hey, yeah, he could come over to our country and be a refugee and roam these streets for freely. He would be a registered refugee and he can roam freely. But here's the caveat to that. For him to take that deal, he has to go on record here with admitting his guilt of the crimes that he's been accused of. You may ask, well, what kind of crimes? Gang banging, trafficking, all of them. Just think of Rico. Just think of Rico. All of them. Those are the type of crimes that he's accused of. And that man said, listen, I ain't done none of that ish. I don't know what you're talking about, but he said all that in Spanish. Because remember, I done told y'all, the man don't speak English. He been over here since he was 16, running from the gangbangers in El Salvador, but he don't speak English. Make that ish make sense. Y'all, I promise y'all I don't get on here making this ish up. I just report this tomfoolery. Sometimes y'all don't see me because I be needing a damn break. Because it's a damn lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. He been over here since he was like 16 years old. He came in around in like 2019, running from the gangbangers. So he came here. He done got himself in some trouble. A judge had told him, listen, then we won't. The deal was for him to not be deported back to El Salvador. It didn't say that his ass couldn't get deported to goddamn Uganda or Eswatini, South Africa, the motherland, the diaspora. That is not what that judge said. The judge just said that he cannot go to El Salvador. So Donald J. Trump said, I then bet we got plenty of other places in this world that we can send his ass. And listen, it don't matter if he don't speak the doggone language over in Africa, because hell, he over here in the US of A and he ain't even speaking our language. So we not finna let that be the reason. We are not finna let that be the reason, because he ain't even speaking our language. So we not keeping him over here just because he can't speak, he can't communicate with them Africans. He better learn. He gonna have to learn some cues, some sign language, some clacking of. Listen, do what they Rosetta Stone. He gonna have to then Rosetta Stone his way through the situation, because he not staying here. Trump said he ain't staying here. He better download one of them apps. We got Chat GPT. So he got some options. He got some options because he managed to make it do what it do over here in the USA without knowing the English language. He can't speak it. So clearly he can make it do what it do over there in the diaspora. They ain't speaking Spanish over there, just like a lot of us aren't speaking Spanish over here. The ones that are speaking Spanish over here are the people who are not from here. Your average American does not speak Spanish. That's just, so he'll blend, he'll fit right in. He'll give him a little tan. His body, his little round, rotund body. When I looked at them images on the internet, he looking like him. He just a little more tan, but he'll be out there in that sun. He'll get to be my color. It won't take it won't take long. It will not take long. He'll get acclimated. But yes, that's where he's headed to. So I've been looking out for updates about the court hearing. Before going on this live, I did not see where they had already had the hearing. The judge told them that it just needed to be done today by this afternoon. So mostly it was going to be centered around them presenting their receipts to support this plan for Kilmar to be going to Southern Africa. I said you can't make this issue up. I'm like, how Trump sat and just came up with this place of all places to send this man to. He said, I'm finna send this man to some place that even the black folk ain't never even heard of, because I know I have never heard of this place. Even when watching the Olympics. You know how you listen to the different countries and you hear kind of a name and I have no recollection of ever hearing of the country Eswatini. Have you? Have you? Well, guess who about to be able to got do reviews over there? I say he better start him a YouTube channel. That's what he need to do when he gone over to Africa, because he gonna probably be the well. I don't know. They said he might be the first one shipped over there. Because from what I hear, there's been I think some people already sent to maybe Uganda. He might be the first Mexican over there in Eswatini, but that's all right. He'll have his little niche. He'll be the African on YouTube doing lies from the motherland. Like he gonna have his little space on the internet to set him apart. He will be just fine. But I'm like, that's what he better do. He put his little piece of skin, whatever the hell they be wrapping around it, to cover their private. Listen, go to Google and see what them people looking like. He just gonna have to work it out. It's too hot out there to be wearing clothes anyway, they say. He will have to figure it out. But that's where he on his way to. That is where he's on his way to. So the Trump administration had to be up late at night last night trying to get their receipts together. Because y'all know when it comes to having these receipts, the dates and all of that stuff, judge is going to be peeping game to see, okay, the dates that agreements, things was signed, dated, all of that, because the judge wants to see that this wasn't just something that they just came up with to say, hey, we're going to send him here. They want to know that this was like a real plan, like that they communicated with these leaders in these places, say as Watini. There was a communication and agreement that said, hey, we are going to send Kilmar here in exchange for this. You see what I'm saying? The judge trying to see something. And she was like, if I do not see something by Friday, I'm gonna cut him loose. Yeah, I'm gonna cut him loose. He gonna be free. So it can go either way. It can go either way. He can end up over there in the motherland, or on the flip side, he could end up free. And once he's free from ICE custody, like he's free. Now he is set to. Now here's the thing. I would think that this probably would mean that this would just have him to be free until, like, because he's scheduled, I think right now his trial date is supposed to be January 2026. So if they let him go, I would imagine it just means that, okay, he don't have to stay in ICE custody between now and his court date, because right now he's in custody, but he does have a court hearing because he wants to have a trial hearing, because he and his attorney feel confident that they can beat these charges. He's been accused of trafficking. Let me see. He got multiple things that he's been accused of, but trafficking, drugs, gang banging, everything, everything. He's accused of all of that. And of course, he on his shaggy. It wasn't me. He's saying it wasn't me in Spanish, of course. He's saying it was not me. It was not me. But the Trump said administration's like, nah, the devil is alive. We know it was you. Now we're gonna need you to come on over here and get on this plane so you can get flued out over to southern parts of Africa. Y'all, that is what's going on with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. It's been a long journey. I think he first got flued out to El Salvador back in March. And that's when I kind of start covering him. He got flued out in March. Everybody was hooping. A bunch of people was hooping and hollering. Democrats was hooping and hollering over him getting shipped out, including the mayor of Maryland. It was either the mayor or the governor. One of those politicians went over there and sat with him and had a little drink with him and, talked with them or whatever. And then, it's probably been a couple of months now since he made his way back to the U.S. by court order. So the Trump administration, they were forced to have to bring him back. But when they brought him back, ICE was waiting for him, and he got, still put back into the, police custody. So he hasn't been free since he's been back. He's just been back on the U.S. soil, but he still has been in custody like the entire time. while he still proclaims that he is innocent. But there's a lot of evidence and things that the Trump administration say they have to support that no, he is not a good guy. He's not a good guy. They say that he is involved with the MS-13 gang, as well as trafficking and smuggling. There's records where he's been pulled over by the police, where they've seen where he's had people in the vehicles where it looks to be they were being trafficked um, across state lines and things like that. So they have their receipts. The Trump administration have their receipts, but the receipts that they now have to produce are the ones associated with the game plan for him being sent to Africa. Hey, what's up? Just say when. Yes, he has to produce the Trump administration has to produce those receipts, and they didn't produce them on Monday. And their reason was, listen, we've been busy with this government shutdown. Listen, we ain't had time to be looking for all that. Well, the judge was like, I think y'all gonna f around and find out he finna be walking the streets with you if you don't give me what I need, and I'm gonna need for y'all to come back as early as Wednesday to give me what I need, and I'm gonna need for y'all to come back on Friday to be prepared to testify, to be prepared for your witness that you need to produce by Wednesday. That's today. Today's Wednesday. The judge said you need to produce a witness. You need to bring forth a witness that can vouch for this information that you are saying. The information centered around the plan for Abrego Garcia to go to Eswatini, Africa. That's the southern parts of Africa, the motherland. She wants to make sure that it wasn't something just overnight that that they just came up with because they just trying to just send him somewhere. She wants she trying to see something. It's very interesting. I like I said, I'm just like stuck on a part of the places that he's choosing to send this man. He ain't even trying to send him to no Latin countries. He's like, nah, that's too close. That ain't far enough. He trying to send excuse me, he trying to send this man to some place to where it ain't even possible for him to even swim to. Like, you know how the people be like jumping the board? Like, he's trying to send him so far away to where him coming back into the US, it ain't even a thing. He's saying he won't be doing a TikTok talking about look who's back. Like, y'all seen some of them people out there to where they got deported early on when people was getting deported, and then they was doing them they TikToks um showing themselves like back in the US. Have y'all seen that? So Trump is like, nah, we not doing that with you. Uh-uh. We getting you up out of here, and we making sure that you won't be coming back. You won't be coming back. And I don't believe that his wife and kids are gonna go. Like I said, would you? I don't believe they're going. I do not believe that his wife and children will be accompanying him to Africa. I don't think so. I think they're gonna be here. She'd be like, baby, I'm gonna stay here and I'm just still just be fighting with you, talking about free Kilmar, but she ain't going there. She ain't going there. So I sense a divorce coming. I sense a divorce coming. I know if it was me, hey, what's up, Tim? I know if it was me, I guess my last name would have to become Brown or something. I guess it wouldn't be Garcia no more because I'm not going over there. I don't care if the people do look like I ain't going over there. I'm FBA. I ain't African. So the Kilmar's attorney, like, they Trump them playing games. What he supposed to do over there? His life gonna be at risk. Like, he can't speak the what is he doing over there? They playing. They are playing. But low key, I do feel like Trump is being petty with this situation, but at the same time, I'm with him on getting Kilmar up out of here because he been doing the most. I feel like if you're over here doing the absolute most, then no, you don't deserve to be here. We got enough American people who was born here who do the absolute most. We don't need no help. We got that under control. We do not need somebody over here speaking other languages doing the absolute most. We got it. We got it. Speaking of people doing the absolute most, Trump said, you know what? It's a lot of people in Chicago doing the absolute most. I learned that already since Trump has since the ICE things have been in Chicago, there has been already over 1,000 arrests. Did y'all see the story where ICE and they rode up on the people, the illegal immigrants at the apartment complex, like in the middle of the night, child? They say everybody come outside. Grandmama, granddaddy, mama, daddy, brother, sister, the kids, the dog, the cat, the catfish. Everybody come outside. We trying to see something. We want to see everybody. So they came up in there. They now word on the curb is that they came up in there military style, like y'all know, like in the movies, like GI Joe style, where they had the helicopters, they was kicking in doors, all of that. Right now it's under investigation, because that is the story of, the people, the Democrat side, who were not here for what Trump's doing. They're like, he was doing too much on September 30th. Them people was trying to sleep. They had work and school to be at in the morning, and those people came up in there disturbing their peace. So there's an investigation. Um, the Homeland Security, there's an investigation that is taking place to see if there is any truth to that. But with that being said, even with that raid, it said that there was only like 37 people. There was like 37 people that was arrested. But in total, there's been over 1,000 people arrested since Trump, since they set up shop in Chicago. They're calling this Operation Midway Blitz. So as we're seeing Trump and National Guards and things like that go into these different cities, coming to a city near you. Y'all, I live in Atlanta, Georgia, so the list, we on the list too. I don't know when they coming, but I heard we on the list too. Um, they call it the Operation Midway Blitz. Operation Midway Blitz. That is what it's called. And apparently, word on the curb is they roll it up in these places, these cities, military style. Helicopters and all, flashbangs, breaking down. Let me find out they got batarams going through the door. Yeah, listen, that's what they said they doing in Chicago. That's what they said Trump and them folks doing in Chicago. So Trump like, listen, we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta clean this place up, because this right here, y'all ain't got it under control. So we coming up in here to get some ish under control, because people tired of having a peace disturbed. Apparently, part of the arrest, they said, was people occupying vacant units that should be vacant for future tenants who pay rent. They said that gang members and things were occupying these spaces. Yeah, just doing the absolute most. So they said they had to go in there and do what they had to do. They had to go ahead and be regular. They was on a regulator. They had to regulate. They had to go in there and regulate. Now, controversy surrounding this situation, the governor, J.B. Pritzker, y'all know he can't stand Trump and Trump can't stand him. They were like, yo, this is a violation of civil rights and a violation of due process. Civil rights and due process. They're also alleging that people not everyone at the apartment complex were illegal immigrants. So they're, I guess, alleging like false arrest, harassment, and all of that for towards American citizens. But these citizens were not arrested; they were detained. But during that process, you remember, as they showed up to the apartment buildings, they had to kind of do a Q&A with everybody so they can kind of weed out and determine which ones were illegal immigrants versus not. Because, of course, you can have an illegal immigrant that look like me, that look like you, so you can't always tell from the outside if someone's legit or not. So they basically rounded everybody up and want to see something. They like, show me your paperwork, show me your documents. So that's how that's what that was about. Lawsuits. Tim said lawsuits are coming. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. So um, it's a mess. It's under investigation right now. Who's investigating? It's a group. I think it's Homeland Security are investigating the situation right now because there's been a lot of complaints about how the military how the ICE how they've been moving out there. So people just aren't here for how they're moving out there. Um, my thing is I'm here for regulating this situation centered around the illegal immigrants because it is like out of control. Like it's out of control. Uh, so I am here for regulating that. But it's just like a touchy situation because it's just like I said, you can't always tell if somebody's illegal or not. Let me take this back. Not always. You cannot tell if someone is illegal or not from looking at them. We'll just sit that there. You cannot. But through research, investigating all that, you can come to learn if someone is illegal or not. So from my understanding with the Trump administration and when they rode up on these people at this apartment complex, they started just asking, they were asking everybody questions like no one was like exempt from getting questioned because they're like we have to, get down to the truth. Like we got to learn who's supposed to be here versus not. We're not going to arrest everybody, so we're going to question everybody. So that's what took place. So if it took place that way, when it comes to lawsuits filed, I don't know what kind of stance they'll be able to have. You see what I'm saying? Because they're like, listen, we went in, we needed to question the people. We had to question them. We had to talk to everybody to learn who was legal versus not, because that we have no other way of identifying the people. We have to kind of talk to each and every one of them. So that's going to be interesting, as far as when it comes to the part centered around the lawsuit. It's just a bad situation. And it's bad just because the previous administration has allowed for the immigration to get out of control the way it has gotten out. Like we wouldn't be here if there was more checks and balances in place under the previous administration. It's bad. It's bad. It's a sad situation. It's the reality. It is what it is, and we have to regulate it. We have to regulate it. And another thing that I'm also in support of is taxpayers not funding benefits, any type of benefits for illegal immigrants. I don't think that it's fair for American taxpayers to have to fund anything, whether it's food, medical. I don't think that it's fair for us to have to fund those things with our taxes, with the money we pay. So whatever that the Trump administration has to do to try to filter through that to identify those who are here illegally versus not, I think they got to do what they got to do because we can't keep paying out money and resources for people who are not legally here. And that's been my stance the entire time. I've changed at different stances on this channel with different things, but when it comes to illegal immigration, that has stayed the same. I feel like if you're over here, you should be over here the right way. You should be over here legally. If you are not over here the right way, if you're not over here legally, then you need to leave and come back the right way. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the requirement everywhere else you go. Everywhere else you go, you can't think that you can just go to another country and just set up shop and just never leave. It don't work that way. It don't work that way. You can try it, but once them folks catch up to you, then you're gonna be dealt with. And so I just feel like it's we should be, our country, we should be entitled to operate the same way. Like, yo, like if you ain't come over here the right way, then I'm need for you to raise up on out of here. Like, I don't understand why that's a hard concept. I don't care, okay, if somebody been over here X amount of time, for however long length of times, because a lot of illegal immigrants have been over here 10, 20, like a lot of years, still don't know English, but they've been over here for a long, long time. Okay, but just because you've been doing wrong for a long time, it doesn't automatically make it right. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got some people who've been damn thieving, boosting all their life. Do you say, well, Michelle been boosting ever since she was 11? She 55 now. What is she supposed to do for work? All she know is to boost. All she know is to steal. Where does that fly by at? Just because you've been doing the absolute most the wrong for eons, it don't necessarily just make it right to where society has to accept that this is just how you roll. You just be on. This ain't how that work. This ain't how that works. But here's the thing. The example I use, the average person to be like, bet she, I'll follow you. You're right. But that same logic, when you apply it towards with illegal immigration and somebody wrongfully doing something with being over here illegally, they going to find some type of way to justify it, say it's different. No, it's not. Wrong is wrong. No matter how long you've been doing it, wrong is wrong. Just because you've been doing wrong for a long time, it doesn't take away from the fact that it's wrong. And I feel like with this whole illegal immigration, people want to put like a time stamp, like, okay, well, they've been over here 30 years, like they've been doing wrong for 30 years. That's like, really think about it. That's really what it is. People think that, okay, because somebody been doing something wrong for so long, then now it's right. It's okay. And that's where does that doesn't apply to anything in life. Wrong isn't based on the length of time you do something. Wrong is based around rules, laws. That's what wrong. It's black or white. It's not gray. It's just either it's law or not. And when it comes to the illegal immigration, people don't want to stand on business when it comes to that and the laws surrounding that. They want to say, oh well, yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it, but okay, but when you stealing thieving, it ain't no but. When you going before a judge, but your honor, my kids needed school clothes. I ain't had no job, so I had to go into Walmart and steal clothes. Like, that ain't flying by. More often than that is not flying by, because you felt like you had a need to do wrong, but it's wrong. It's wrong. So we need to get this issue under control. As we see, hell, Trump might not be doing the best he can be doing when it comes to uh, lowering the cost of things. But I will say that he is working hard when it comes to this illegal immigration and trying to get it under control. I will say he's working hard on that part. Now, all that other ish that's going on, but this illegal immigration, he is working very, very, very hard on that part. So I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Uh, I did see that recently a judge denied him to be able to, I think for the state of Oregon, to have the National Guards enter their state. Uh, I feel like that's probably going to be a thing in other cities where other states or local governors will try to block Trump from bringing in National Guards into their state. So I think we'll see that again. Carol B. Lyon Levitt, the press secretary, she said that, of course, the Trump administration is raising that decision up to a higher court, and she has faith that it's going to return a decision that's favorable for the Trump administration will be returned as it pertains to the National Guards going into states. So right now, I think it's just Oregon who won so far with saying, hey, no, you can't bring the National Guards in. I know, I think Tennessee, Trump wants to bring National Guards. I think it's into Tennessee. I think Tennessee is an area, place where they're talking about where he's wanting to bring the National Guards as well. Um, my thing when it comes to bringing National Guards into cities, I think if the numbers centered around the crime shows that need National Guards, and then they need to come, because some of these places, y'all, crime is so out of control. It's like a war zone, like Chicago. Like, I feel like if crime is that bad in these cities, clearly the local police or whatever they've been doing or not doing, it ain't been working. So if bringing in the doggone military is going to bring some attention to them, then I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that, because I truly feel like, right, these places that the National Guards have been brought to, or the conversation, or these places that he'd like to have the National Guard sent to, there are places to where crime is crazy. It's not like there's some Martha's Vineyard place. Like, crime is bad there. So how do you argue? No, 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 don't like. Clearly, it's out of control. Y'all not doing anything, or what you are. Let's just say if you are doing something, if it's not enough. Definition of an insanity: doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different. So to me, the National Guards, the introduction of the National Guards, that's something different. That's saying, you know what, we need to kick this up a notch, because these people, they're clearly not afraid of the local police. They're not afraid of the local police. So maybe we need to bring another group in, another enforcer in, who they may be afraid of. I'm not mad at that idea at all. At all. I am not mad at that idea at all. Because we got to make a change, right? You got to get the crime under control. We can't continue to do what we've been doing with just, it's almost like lawlessness, like where there's no checks and balances, and people are just running around doing what they want to do just because they can. It's crazy. What took me out, y'all, is like, was it last year? Y'all remember did y'all remember in the media where them gangs had, I don't know if it was MS-13, but there were gangs in Colorado. They had went and took over the whole apartment complex, child, knocking on doors, collecting rent and everything. Yes, y'all remember that? That was before Trump took office. And how do you have local police force and that's going down like that? Like, make that make sense. Like, I can't fathom the thought of me living in a community knowing that there are some thugs, some misfits that's taking over the community, the apartment complex. There's local police force in the area. There's a precinct, multiple of them, and nobody's coming in to regulate. Like, it makes no sense to me, but that's what was happening, y'all, in Colorado. Then they decided to say, we trying to see something over on the East Coast. So some of them fools made their way to New York and was doing the same thing in New York. Kids couldn't even go outside and play because the parents were afraid of what may happen to them if they were out of their sight because of these thugs being now in the community, in the building. Y'all, they were literally like collecting the rent from the people. Not these people weren't paying rent to like the front office, like somebody who live in an apartment, like you might pay rent to all. No, they coming knocking on the door collecting and let you not have that rent money. Let you not have that rent money. It's going down. This is what was happening in Colorado. Like, it's crazy. Another, what do you call that? A sanctuary city? Like, it doesn't make sense. These will be the same locations hollering, no, we don't need your help. We don't need your service. Yes, you do. You need all the help you can get. Yes, you do. Yeah, we sending all the branches out here. Like, they need to mess around and send them the Marines, the Navy said they need to send them all. to these places like a Chicago or something because it's out of control. You got to do what you need to do to make things better. Things are bad. And it's not just Chicago. It's a lot of places. I just feel like wherever things are just really bad at, we just need that next level enforcement. Like, what is a strong argument to not have it when your crime rate is so high to where every day is double digit, like murders, drive-bys? Like, let me know, what is a rational response that you can have to me to say, well, no, Sheik, I'm not in support of the military coming in. What? Please share your why. Please share your why, because I'm trying to understand. Share your why, because I just be trying to make sense of stuff because it don't be making sense to me. It don't be making sense to me. Like, why? Well, I just don't feel like military. Okay, well, people don't feel like their loved ones should be doggone offed. That their loved ones should be killed. Like, come on now. Come on now. Come on now. Like, we got to get it together and use common sense and discernment and to recognize that it's just effed up. And it's time that we make a change to do something different to fix this issue. And it's just like, okay, are we not about solutions? Do we just want to talk about it but not be about it? See, my mantra, the way I live my life, I don't talk about it, I am about it. So I look for people to take actions. And I feel like a lot with these politicians, it's almost given like they benefit by their cities being down and out, like by certain things and crime things taking place. It's like, I don't know, are they getting a check or something? Because I'm trying to make sense of why you would be okay with your city being the leader in deaths year over year for 13 years straight. Like, how? Like, Tim, you said people need to wake up. Wake up. What was that? School days. Wake up. People need to wake up. Like, but though the same people that said no, 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 don't come when their loved one is offed, they hooping and hollering on the news. They got to sell fish plates, spaghetti plates to raise money to free their loved ones. Y'all know these be the ones who are like, no, 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 don't come, will be the main ones when ish go down, gonna be ready to point the finger and ask the question as to, well, why is this? Why didn't somebody do this? Y'all know how I go. People just want it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You either want this ish fixed and cleaned up or you don't. Which one is it? Help me, help you. Help me, help you. And it's just like, what we doing, Brenda? What we doing, Charles? Like, y'all want us to help or we don't? Are you tired of your grandkids and your nephews, your nieces being killed, or you not? Because if you tired, then we got some options for you. But you can't have it both ways. You cannot have it both ways. It's very unfortunate. And the sad truth is that majority of these cities that have these crazy high crime rates, they are in Democratic run states. It is what it is. Sure, Trump can have National Guards, whatever, go to Republican states, whatever, he can. But when you put these states and you just line them up by the crime, the majority of these states, the cities, is going to fall in a state that's a Democratic ran state. It is what it is. And there got to be like, so what's the deal with that? Why is that? Why are those states ran differently or, in a worse way than, say, a Republican state? Like, what's the deal? We really got to drill down to it. That's why I wonder if there's money tied to this. Because how is it that the states that's Democratic ran, like, their crime is just so out of control? Why is that? It has me to wonder if there is some type of kickback a benefit to the leaders of that state, for them to be destitute, for their people to be down and out. Just like I scratch my head with California. That's my home state. I was born in California. I'm from Northern California. California, I believe, is like the fourth richest place in the world. They get into the money. But the homelessness is like, arguably, is it like the worst in the US? Like, it's up there. It's bad. When you hear people getting conversation about how bad homelessness is, California, Los Angeles is gonna be like, top city that is brought up as to, when you talk about homelessness. But at the same time, it's the state that has the most money. What are we doing with the money? Where is the money? How is it that Slickback Newsom, because that's what I call him, because that got that hair always fried, dyed, laid to the side. You will never see that hair out of place. I don't care what kind of fire you see come through there, what kind of tornado, earthquake. Oh, that hair is gonna be on point. How do Slickback Newsom talk about how California is getting to the money, but his people are sleeping on the streets? His people are in tent cities. His people can't even afford to buy a house. Hardworking people. Make it make sense. You either got the money or you don't. So since you saying y'all got the money, the question is, what are you doing with the money? Because you didn't say it on multiple occasions, Californians getting to the money. If you get into the money like that, why are your people living like that? I'm just trying to make sense of this. Why are your people living like that, California, if you're getting to the money? Because the way, to me, with the way it looks, with how the people are living, it gives as though the state isn't getting enough money and resources and all that. But according to Slickback Newsom, they get into the money. So now we see it's not that they're not getting access to that, not that they don't have the money or the resources, it's that they're choosing to not put the money and the resources into the people. And that's a problem. That's a problem. That's why I do not desire to ever reside in California again, because I do not like the idea of living in a state that I know that gets a lot of money and resources, but it doesn't go into the people. It don't go into the people. How do you, as a leader of that state, not be embarrassed that your people are down so bad, but at the same time, your bottom line is more than anybody else? Like, y'all, I believe they say California is like the fourth richest place in the world. Like, crazy. That's how much money they're getting. You mean to tell me you can't build things, housing, or do something to get the people off the streets? Like, make it make sense. Kamala, yes, that's why Kamala, yes, she's in California. I don't know where I believe she still lives there. She was a state attorney general there. What else? She was there. Yeah, Kamala's been in politics. She's I believe she's still in California. But that's her state. She wasn't getting my vote. I ain't never rocked with Kamala. I don't rock with Kamala. Really, you all, really, I can't even think of any Democrat politicians I rock with. I just don't, I don't know. I just don't feel like they do right by their people in their states. I don't, I don't like that. They don't do right by their people in the states. And it's so unfortunate that so many people that look like me, time after time, we continue to vote for people that look like me out of identity politics and not really pay attention to what they stand for. I feel like more and more people are starting to move away from that, especially coming off of this election. Trump had like more people of color and things like that that voted for him this time around than the um, previous, I guess, two elections. But I think more and more people are starting to move away from the identity politics. But the identity politics will get you caught up. I feel like the identity politics have gotten a lot of these Democratic states caught up. The introvert speaks says, you might be part of the 8% that didn't vote for them. I'm proudly part of the 8%. Yeah, I'm independent. Uh, I vote based on cause. What you talking about? What you trying to do? I don't vote based on color. I don't subscribe to Bloods and Crips. Like I don't. That's not how I move. What you on? What you doing? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? And the Democrats, to me, I just don't feel like that they be for the people like they really say that they are. And then they know that people that look like me, that we're very loyal. We're a loyal base. So it's almost like y'all know how like when you already know that somebody gonna come through for you, you ain't really gotta work for it because you already know, oh, I got them. I feel like Kamala had that belief when it came to the black people. Like she just was feeling herself like, oh, I'm just gonna go to Howard, get on the stage, do a ski wee, go on the go on the Breakfast Club, tell them how when I was at Howard, I smoked weed too. Mind you, this the same woman that arrested a bunch of people in California for stuff like that. Do, but now she talking about how she was doing. Y'all see what I'm saying? This that stuff that I was able to see through. This is that stuff that I was able to see through that a lot of people acted like they wasn't like y'all don't see this, y'all don't hear, y'all don't. All right then, well she ain't getting my vote. So clearly that it wasn't just me. So don't get mad at me. Clearly it wasn't just me that saw through her, and it had nothing to do with her being a woman, or as she would call herself, a black woman, which I don't consider her a black woman. It had nothing to do with that. It was just her as a person. I just found her to be a chameleon. She would just step into a room and become whoever she needed to be for that moment. Oh, I'm in this room, I need to be a black woman. I'm in this room, I need to be an Indian. I'm in this room, I need to be representing Jamaica. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, so you never could really follow on like where her stance was because she was kind of tailoring it to whatever her environment was. But though with Trump, whether you liked him or not, you didn't see him flip flop. He was always consistent on whatever he was saying. Like I said, you loved him or you hated him, but one thing you're going to say is he was consistent. If he said it on Monday, okay, on Thursday, on the podium, at the debate, he's saying it again. If he said it on Monday when he sit down with CNN on Sunday or Fox on Sunday, he gonna say it again. It don't matter who he's talking to, he was gonna still have the same message. The same message. So Kamala, you didn't get that from her. She didn't have a stance. Her stance was on, okay, well, whatever Biden was doing. Ma'am, the country effed up. What do you mean? That's why you lost. The fact that you even gonna say, well, no, I'm good with, whatever Biden had. This is why we in this situation. Yeah, you like go on take to the house, go on take to the house. Go on take it to the house. I blame the Democrats for the failing of her campaign because the world had already spoken and said they did not like Kamala. I don't know why they didn't want to listen. They spoke and said that when she was running for president. So if they didn't like her then, what makes you think that they now is just finna suddenly like her because Biden falling going upstairs and falling off of bicycles? Because now they want to recognize that Biden is just getting old. Now suddenly people are supposed to like Kamala and think that she's fit to be president. No, this is not how this works. This is not how this works. So they effed up when they pushed her to the forefront. They effed up. So they have to take that L. They effed up royally. And a lot of people voted for Trump because they say, ain't no way in hell I'm voting for her. How about that? How many of you have ever voted for somebody because you're like, well, I'm damn sure ain't voting for that person. This person, but I know who ain't getting my vote. And I feel like that's what happened when it came to her. because that's how bad she was. It wasn't necessarily that Trump was that good. That's how bad she was. And they were in denial about that for a long, long time. They were in denial about that. But that's what it was about. It was about her. She lost it. It wasn't that Trump was just out here outshining her. It didn't take much for Trump to outshine her. All Trump had to do was just speak on what he wanted to do, which was all things different than what was taking place because we were at such a bad place. Kamala couldn't speak on anything. She couldn't give her opinion without inserting Donald J. Trump's name in it. She couldn't do it. So people didn't really understand, like, okay, what her beliefs was, what her stance was, because every time she spoke, did you all take notice? Like she always, well, Trump, and it's just like, okay, we're not talking about him. We're just saying what are deflection, right? What are you trying to do? She couldn't do it. She could not do it to save her life. So Democrats, if they want to be mad, I've been saying this on this channel. They have to be mad at themselves for propping her up when the world, their party spoke and said that they wasn't for her. They did. They had spoken like 3 years prior. But that was them. Kind of like, you got those games with your kid and you got the shapes. You got the heart shape, the star shape, the rectangle shape, the circle shape, the pegs. And you're trying to force it. So you're learning, you're teaching your babies the shapes. So you got the star and then you got the heart shape hole. So it was like them having the star trying to push it in the heart shape. Like, oh, I need to push it in. But that's not the right one. But I gotta push it in. Like I gotta get it in. And that's what I felt like they kept doing with her. And it's just like, damn it. Like, all right, then. Well, y'all wasting money because they wasted a lot of money. And she lost royally. She lost royally. Like, it wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. Fast forward to today. So, again, during the election time, many people voted however they voted because they wanted something different. They wanted something different. I think most people can agree that at the time when they were going to vote, they felt like, okay, what's going on right now? It ain't giving. We need something different. And some people felt like that different can come from their vote by voting for Kamala, that she would be, able to kind of shake things. I don't know what they would have based it on because, like I said, it wasn't nothing she was saying that was giving that she was going to do anything differently. But whatever. But then you have people like myself to where Trump was talking about whatever that he was wanting to do that was different. And I'm like, bet, because this ish effed up. This ish is effed up. So you saying you can do, I then bet, because we already loaded, we already at the dent, we in the pits of hell already. What you trying to do? What you trying to do? I'm willing to give it a try because this shit effed up. It is effed up. But here's the kicker, y'all. At that time, many of us didn't really think that it can get worse than what it was. Many of us, like myself, did not think that it can get worse than what it was. There lies the problem. Because fast forward to today, October 8th, 2025, ish is bad. It is bad. And it's like we thought the worst of the worst was last year under the Biden regime, what we were experiencing, job loss, inflation, food prices. It was bad. To many of us, it was like the worst of the worst that a lot of us had seen. But baby, today, I wonder how many people wish that we can just rewind the clock, go back in time, and just go back to summer 2024, to whatever condition that the world was in. and just try something to make it do what it do, because this is how bad it is. So I think when it comes to Trump, why a lot of people are kind of in their feelings is because so many people had faith and hope that the change was going to be something positive and favorable. Because remember, the vote was rooted on change. And all we can go off of, because really all you can go off is somebody's word, what they're saying. And a lot of times when somebody's saying it sounds good, and you in a place where you just need more and you need hope and you trying to hold on to faith, and somebody telling you something that's like music to your ears, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do that. All right, let's bet. So you go with that because you're taking a chance. You're taking a chance. And so when it comes to Trump today, there are a lot of things that he's doing that he ran on, that he promised, like with this whole immigration thing. Like he said, listen, this was going to be. What else he did? The federal government, trying to downsize the federal government. He talked about that. Um, I think the biggest thing right now that people are really kind of bothered by, that he didn't run on this part, y'all. Y'all let me know, did Trump run on tariffs? Remind me, because y'all, this tariff situation have just taken it to a whole nother level. Did Trump run on tariffs? Trump ran on talked about releasing Epstein files. He said, I've seen him do interviews, he said he will release the files. People in his cabinet talked about how, that, yeah, if y'all vote for Trump, he's gonna release these files. So there are some things that Trump still stuck to, but then, baby, there's these things that he did not. And it's that has people in their feelings, because it's just like, wait a minute, like, that's not what you sold me on. That's not really what you ran on, because he didn't run on no to Epstein files. He ran on yes to the release of Epstein files. And people were here for that. People were here for that. So you got a lot of people who feel like they was bamboozled, led them up, betrayed. People are in their feelings because they're like, I voted for you. You're doing some of these things that you talked about that you were going to do, but at the same time, you're doing a lot of things too that's kind of hurting us. And that's it ain't what you was running on. Like it's different right now. And even though that some of these things may be hurting us, you're still not trying to let up off the gas and try to move around or do something different, even though that it's hurting your base. It's going to be very interesting when when election time come up and people got to go out there and vote. I'm willing to bet you all, and y'all let me know in the comments, I'm willing to bet that when it comes to voting, we are likely probably to have a history, make history with low turnout. I really feel like with these coming elections, the turnout for them is not going to be really high, especially with Black and brown people. And I think it's going to be rooted in people have lost faith in the trust in government. They're they they're gonna feel like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. So I'd rather just sit it out, because the last time that I took myself out there to go place my vote, I was disappointed. I felt like I was used. I felt like I was lied to. So I'm just not going to even bother, because you got a lot of people, you all, who just don't, who already had not voted for reasons like that. They like, it don't matter. They going to do what they want to do anyway. Like, how many of you know people who think that way, where you know people, they don't vote? They were like, this stuff is rigged. It don't matter. I feel like what we're seeing playing out right now, it feeds into that ideology of, it don't matter. They gonna do what they want to do. They gonna say whatever they need to say to get this vote, but they gonna do what they want to do. The rich gonna still protect the rich. So that's gonna be the haves. It's the haves against the have-nots. The have-nots are still gonna be having not. you know. So why I need to get out there and vote? Like, really? Like, why? Why? So I think it's going to be a record low turnout when it comes to black and brown people. White folks may still, get out there and vote, but I think when it comes to black and brown people, the numbers are going to be lower, because from what I'm hearing already, politicians, Democrat politicians, black politicians, they're already really urging people to get out there and vote when, I guess, for the November elections, because they know people are so frustrated and upset about the turnout of just things, because they felt like, well, I did the right thing. I got up, I showed up, I voted. I did what I was supposed to do, or what I was sold. Kind of like these young kids, they going to college, getting degrees, and then they get out and they can't find a job. You ever experienced something to where you were sold, if you do this way, this is going to be the outcome, even though there's no guarantees, but you know that it's more favorable that this is going to be the outcome. To be in a situation to where you do that, and it's actually more favorable that it's not going to be the outcome. You see what I'm saying? Like, you've been lied to, bamboozled. That's what a lot of the young people are experiencing right now when it comes to this job market, going to school, accumulating all this debt, and they can't buy a job. What they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You live and you learn. And right now, with everything that we're experiencing, I do not feel like a lot of people feel like it make a difference whether you vote or not, because people are going to do what they want to do. The rich is going to still continue to look after the rich. Haves against have-nots. For a long time, you all, and I talked about on this channel, if you're new to my channel, I say it a lot. I don't believe that much of what we experience in the world, in particular the U.S., is centered around race, black versus white. I think it's mostly haves versus have-nots. It's social economic class, because you got a lot of people, black people, brown people, who are getting to the money. You got a lot of white people who are poor. I was talking to a coworker today when I was in the office, and you all know, some of you may know, I was in San Diego last week on vacation with my husband. We were in San Diego, and he was telling me he was just in San Diego maybe the week before. And I was telling him about how I really enjoyed San Diego, whatever. And he was like, I didn't. And he was like, well, let me tell you why. He was like, I enjoyed like seeing the buildings, the restaurants. He was like, but I took a turn down the street and I saw so many homeless people. And he said the thing that was the most surprising to me was the white people. And he said, so we talked, and he was like, I don't know if it's just that, because he was a black man too. He's a black man, I'm a black woman. So we're talking here in Atlanta. And he was like, I don't know if it's just that I'm desensitized to us, our people having hard times, living a certain way. And I have this thought process that other groups of people, white people, live a different way. He was like, but when I went down this street, he said it was so many white homeless people. I said, well, was it tent cities? He said, no, they didn't even have tents. He's like, hell, they barely had clothes on. They using the bathroom all that stuff. He was like, no, they didn't have none of that. And he said it was just mostly a bunch of white people. And I said, you see there? I said, because this is what they say right now. This ain't centered around black or white. This is a social economic class situation. You got white people who are struggling just as bad as you got black people, Mexican people, Asian people, everybody getting this work. Everybody getting this work. Everybody get this work. There was a time, you all, where it was people that looked like me or brown people, and we were the ones that was struggling. And for the most part, 99%, them white folks was getting to it. Y'all, but that ain't how it is now. Y'all, I see more TikToks out here with the white folks crying, hooping, and hollering, talking about what we gonna do because it's just so bad. Then I see people that look like me. But guess what? People that look like me, we used to the struggle. This ain't nothing new. What it say? I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. We ain't new to this. We true to this. So it hits differently when you're used to struggle versus when you ain't used to struggle. White folks out here talking about, damn, black people, how the hell y'all been living off of chitlins? How y'all been making $1 out of 15 cents? Help me, because I don't understand. Y'all, you mean to tell me 5 generations y'all been living? Y'all, they thinking we damn superheroes. They don't understand. They don't understand because they ain't never had that struggle like that. So when he said, he was just like, he was like, it was a shock to me to see white people down bad. He was like, it was a whole bunch of them. And I'm like, they say everybody getting hit. It's not just black people. It's not just black people. That's why I'm like, y'all, this ain't about black or white. This is a social economic class thing. And y'all want to know when it really hit me that that's what this was about is earlier this year when Trump started effing with, getting them government jobs, and them blacks and them whites started meeting up on the corner with their little signs talking about F Trump, kumbaya. That's when I seen, oh, we in different times. When I seen Karen on the side of Brenda, David on the side of Charles, and they singing the same message. They both hollered, I ain't got no rent. I ain't got money for my rent. I don't have a car. I don't have a job. They saying the same thing. That's when I knew this ain't black or white. This is social economic class. This is haves against have-nots. So if I see things this way, y'all think other people don't see it that way too? What's the incentive to go out there and get out of my bed and get out there in the cold and go vote? What's the incentive? Like, really, when you think about it, well, what we're seeing, y'all let me know in the comments. Do you all see any incentives for going out again and voting red versus blue? Based off of what you're seeing both sides give, do you have faith in one over the other? Because goddamn it, I'm going to tell you, I don't. I don't have faith in it. I don't. It's all a disappointment to me. I don't have faith in it. I feel like everybody just is about out there for self-gain. Everybody is out there on this type of time of, I'm going to say what needs to be said to get what I want. Who going to check me, boo? Everybody on their Nene Leaks. Who going to check me, boo? I feel like this is where we're at. What does that do for me? What does that do for me? Not a dang thing. It's like, so, like I said, I'm just waiting to hear the reports talk about how low the turnouts are at the polls, because I know they're going to be lower for my group. for my group. They're gonna be, because my group is gonna be like, well, hell, you ain't doing nothing for me anyway. Like, what we doing? What incentive do I have to come out and show up for you for what? So so we can continue to still get more of what we've been getting. Poorly run cities and states, homelessness, like money not going, no resources going back. Like why? What we doing? Like why? Okay, why I need to come out again? Oh, okay. Yeah, nah, I sit down, I'll watch the news and see how it turn out. Yes, more of our groups are turning, voting red. But here's the thing, as I even talk about that with so many of our groups that have voted red, a lot of people who have voted red feel disappointed in where Trump has taken our government, our economy. It's only so much blame that you can put on Biden. I know Biden had this place in an effed up place, but everything that's going on right now isn't because of Biden. These tariffs, how Trump is handling tariffs, this is Trump's doing of how he feels like, okay, he need to be playing hardball when it comes to tariffs. This is impacting people's businesses. You can't put that on Biden. Hey, let's talk about student loans. Hell, under the Biden regime, people was getting student loans forgiven. I know people who got student loans forgiven. People was even having deferments. All of that is all gone right now. So how do you have that gone and jobs gone? Make that make sense. You mean to tell me the student loan forgiveness option is gone? The deferment option is gone, and the jobs are gone? Make it make sense. Houseway. How I'm supposed to pay this student loan if the job is gone and the job is gone because of things that the government has implemented, such as limiting the number of federal workers, tariffs, things like that. It's had an impact on jobs. But you're telling me, oh yeah, we can't afford to not have you pay the student loan. What am I gonna pay it with? My looks? What am I gonna pay these student loans with? My look? Like, come on, make it make sense. So have y'all seen the idea floating around about tariff checks, $2,000 checks for the tariffs? I guess the money that because let Trump tell him we didn't, made billions of dollars from, the tariffs or whatever. So I've been hearing about this idea float out there about checks being cut. Kind of like, remember during the pandemic, we had those, the checks, um, what you call that, the whatever, I can't even remember the name of the checks they call it. Y'all remember the little $1,200 checks and stuff? So apparently there's this idea of giving out, cutting checks. P-Town said, quit getting these useless degrees. I agree. A day late and a dollar short with that message. But I definitely agree. Most of the degrees are useless. And most people have degrees in fields that they don't have to have a degree in. How about that? And those are the people who are struggling to get jobs. The people who got degrees that are not in the medical field, that are not in tech. Basically, that's not in STEM. Those are the people. Most people aren't getting a degree in STEM. Those are going to be your more challenging degree programs. Stimulus check. Thank you, introvert. Yes. So, yeah. So apparently he's floating around this idea of handing out stimulus checks, $2,000 stimulus checks. I don't know. I believe it when I see it, because Trump knows that right now so many people are doing bad and a lot of people are not happy. So to me, it sounds nice to kind of throw that out there. It sounds nice at this point, because it's just like, based off of how he's chosen to operate this country in the last, what we had, 8 months, maybe however many months, it has resulted in a large number of people being without a job, whether you are here for his reasoning or not. What we cannot argue is that a lot of people are down bad. Talk is cheap, introvert. Yes, talk is cheap. A lot of people are down bad. And Trump will not admit it when he get on his platform. Carol B. Lyon Levy get up. They talk about how good the economy is. Why is it that the Trump administration, people in that administration, are the only ones who are saying that? I do not ever see in my comments someone talking about how great the economy is. Y'all let me know in this chat. How do you feel about the economy? Do you feel like the U.S. economy is doing well? Like, let's talk about it. And I want, as you're thinking about this, I want you to base it based on the job market, the cost of food, medical benefits, and what else I want you to base. Yeah, those are basically going to be your three, and like housing. We'll throw housing in there. Yes, introverts be. I seen. How do you rationalize that part? Let me know, because I saw that the stock market, and apparently they say that's a thing when when the economy is kind of like bad. They be like, is that because the value things drop in price so more people start to buy? Because I'm not into stock like that, so I'm just trying to understand the logic behind it. So does the stock market become good because the value of things, the price starts to drop, so more people start to buy? You're saying, yeah, okay, because they said it's the norm that this happens. Like, they was like, the Dow is up. I was hearing that, I think, yesterday, and I'm like, wow. But here's the thing: do you think most Americans participate in the stock market? Do you think most American people participate in the stock market? Do you think most American people have extra money to put in the stock market? Who do you think is benefiting from the stock market? Remember, I talk about the haves versus the have-nots. The haves versus the have-nots. So are the haves participating? So here's another thing. Okay, back to how I talk about, I ask this question: who's benefiting when things are bad down for everybody? If the stock and the cost of things, if that price starts to go down, that means the rich are able to buy low. Remember, they got all this excess money. So while things are down and hard and bad for like me and you who don't have it to be spending and to be buying and putting in the stock market, they do. So again, the rich is able to benefit. The rich is able to benefit off of the people being down bad. How much money y'all think Nancy Pelosi didn't make? Because y'all know that's a bad mamma jamma when it comes to this stock market. She cleans up. So that's why it's almost like it's like this benefit for the powers that be to have us down bad. Because we all can't be up, right? So it's like, well, you got to have the peasants, you got to have them down because they can't be up here. You make the money high or low. Yeah. So it's like the rich is benefiting off of our struggle. They like, oh, they broke, they poor, they can't afford to buy it. People losing their houses. People can't afford to pay their car notes. Hey, bro, Lena, how are you? People are just struggling. People are down bad. People are down bad. And me being me, I'm empathetic of all of that. It's just I can't help it. And so I come out here on my channel and I just talk about it because I can just see the world and I can see things from different people's point of view. Even if I may not be in that situation, I don't have to be in your situation to see things from your point of view. I, I'm just able, and some people just for some reason can't see things from another person's perspective, but I can see things from other people's perspective. And I see that there are a lot of people who are struggling, who are down bad. And that's why a lot of people are feeling a certain type of way when it comes to, say, this current administration, because a lot of the people voted for President Donald J. Trump. And when they voted with the hopes and the intent on things being better, getting better, not worse. And all the polls that I see, most people feel like the economy is worse now than it was a year ago. And numbers on, when you look at the numbers across the board with like everything, like with the jobs and like the numbers are worse in 2025. Y'all, they said we're at record number of people filing bankruptcy. Y'all, I've talked about all of this stuff. We're at record number of people filing bankruptcy. People are filing bankruptcies. They can't keep their businesses. They can't stay afloat. So they're filing bankruptcy. They're losing their houses, they're losing their cars, their jobs. So what about all of this that I'm telling you that has somebody motivated to go out and vote? Because peep game, listen, think about it this way. A year ago, people were down bad and it was under the Democrat regime. A year later, people are down bad, even more people are down bad, and it's under the Republican regime. So people have experienced being down bad. Like, what has somebody to say? All right, because what we gonna wait on Elon's new party to say, okay, we finna try to vote for that in hopes that maybe they'll help us out? Because to me, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party both have been a disappointment. What do you have left? Are you ready to try something new? And if so, what is that? What does that look like? What is new to you? What's new? What's that different? Because what I say, definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, accepting something different. We literally, you all, have been doing the same things over and over again and still getting the same result. What what can we do that's different that has us to get a different result? Because we are desperately in need of something different. Because what we've been receiving, it ain't giving. It just ain't it. It ain't cutting it. It's not cutting it. It's not. I'm ready for somebody to talk about something else, some other options, because this has what's been taking place. Like, it hasn't been working for the collective of the people. The rich has continued to get richer, and the poor has continued. Y'all, I subscribe to the belief that there is no middle class. I feel like you're either rich or you're working poor. You're rich or working poor, and working poor is going to be that family, that person who's just one paycheck away from being out on the streets, being homeless. Think about these people right now with this whole situation, government shutdown. What percentage of these people who are impacted by the government shutdown, who will not get a paycheck likely on the 15th? What percentage of them do you feel like that have money saved away to tide them over through this government shutdown? Or what about the people who are furloughed? Any of those people, whether they're furloughed, meaning they're not working at all, or the people who have those jobs where they still got to show up to work, like your TSA people, air traffic control, whatever, they're working, but they're not getting paid. What percentage of that group, either one of those groups combined, you think have a nest egg that will tide them over for 30 days, 2 pay periods, 2 bi-weekly pay periods of not getting a check, and that they will be good? Do you like, this is what I'm saying. I do not believe that is the situation for the average American. I don't believe that's the situation for the average American. So I think about stuff like that. People are down bad. People are down bad. People are worse off today than they were a year ago. Like, we just gonna call the thing a thing. People, you can look at the stats, the numbers. Where our economy was 1 year ago is worse than where we are today in pretty much all categories. Unemployment rate number, hell, I don't know what that was like a year ago, but hell, there's so many people without jobs, so it has to be, I would think it would have to be lower today than it was a year ago. Hell, if more people, so many people who don't have jobs, hell, black women alone, we down over 300,000. And what are we, what percentage of we of the population? That's a lot of people within my group who are unemployed, when you really think about it. When you really think about it, that's like a lot of people. Our number, we weren't down bad like this a year ago. We weren't down bad like this a year ago. So this is why a lot of people are in their feelings about things, because it's just like you voted for change in hope of something being better, and then you feel like you got something that's worse. And people are upset about that. And here's the thing, even though people may be upset about that, one thing a lot of people still will say, they still wouldn't give goddamn Kamala their vote. That would be me. That would be I. I still wouldn't vote for her. I still wouldn't vote for her because I don't feel like, say, if she was in there, that people as a collective, especially the ones that look like me, would be doing a whole lot better. Um, so I ain't gonna go that far. I'm not gonna say all of that, but I do believe that many people are worse off today than they were a year ago. And it is what it is, you know? And people are working through that. People are working through that. It's a struggle for many people as they try to work through that, because they like, I don't know what to do. I still got bills. I need a job. I voted for Trump. I voted for this reason or that reason. This has happened. I don't understand. I didn't know it was going to be like this. You know, people just have a lot of questions. People have a lot of questions. JB2 said, I know everything will get better. This is the ain't the end. It's teaching my family generational wealth through Bitcoin. Wealthy have problems. Don't let it fool you. Check law and crime. We have to start showing each other new ways to make money. Yes, numbers never lie, but opportunity is out there. It's tough, but I know we will be better. Are you in the South? I'm in Georgia. I live in Georgia, so yes, I am in the South. Keep asking questions. That's what I say. Smart people ask questions. We are the honor students over here. If you are a subscriber to any of my YouTube channels, I have multiple. Uh, I affectionately refer to my subscribers as honor students because we are lifetime learners. We continually ask questions. We seek out answers. And I have these conversations, and they're not centered around doom and gloom, but it's centered on awakening, being aware, understanding what the situation is so you know how to move, preparation, all of those things. Because what they say, when you know better, you do better. And so many people are just they just don't know. They don't know what's going on. A lot of people don't know what's going on out here in this world. So I come out here and I talk. I provoke conversation. I ask questions. I seek out answers. Um, and it's rooted in wanting to collaborate, because I don't proclaim to have all the answers. I don't have a lot of answers, but I have questions and I'm interested in getting answers. And sometimes you may not get the answer right away, but you still have to keep seeking out answers, knowledge, understanding. Um, and that's really what prompted me to start to, to cover politics on this channel. It's because I had a lot of questions. I think I was talking to my mother today, and I was telling her that I feel like so many people today, more than ever before, know more about politics, law, because the things that's taking place in the world, people are interested now more than ever with wanting to know and to understand because it's impacting them. And so when I started to just feel the effects of just these things, these changes, right, coming off of when, Trump got inaugurated, right on the same day he started getting to work, it prompted me. I started having questions. I started thinking about how the different things he was doing, how it was going to impact me, how it was going to impact my children. And I had opinions and thoughts and things like that. So I decided I had this is my second YouTube channel. So I'm like, well, I'll turn this into more of a political talk channel so I can bring these questions out here. So that's pretty much what started me talking politics on this channel, because with everything that was taking place in this world, like, I had questions, and I'm like, I'm trying to understand. And it was just a sounding board, me just coming out here on this channel and just talking out loud, and whoever heard me. It was just centered on me just putting my voice out there in hopes that I'd come across other people who also had questions and maybe have some answers to the questions I have. And so here we are now. So this channel is like far bigger than my first channel. Like, it was my little small channel with under 600 subscribers going back to February. Now I don't know, I'm over like 6,000 subscribers. But it was I connected with other people who also had questions and who wanted to know. And ever since then, it's just now it's like I'm determined to try to, understand what's going on and to get answers, and to no longer just live in this world where people are out here making decisions for me and me not knowing what's going on or understanding. JB says we are awake now. Yeah. And it's no turning back. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much that you like my hair. Yeah, there's no turning back. Like, we out here now, we're awake. But here's the thing about being awake. The powers that be don't like when we're awake. They don't want us asking questions. They don't want us asking questions because when the people are asleep, they're able to get over with doing certain things because it's like, oh, they're busy, they're preoccupied. And I think that's what really kind of was the game changer with Trump with everything, is because he, prior to this whole thing with Epstein and all of that, I feel like Trump was used to a world where people like him, the politicians, the powers that be, can come out and say and do whatever, and the people just go along with it. But it's a new day. We're not those people anymore. And I think a lot of it has to do with the social media. People are talking. People are able to connect with people from all around the world and link up with people who are like-minded, have similar like thoughts and beliefs and opinions and things like that. And there's strength in numbers. And I think that was the game changer, because sometimes one person can say something that can kind of provoke you or open that or turn that light bulb on. You ever like listen to someone and they got you to thinking about something you never thought before? You like, you know what? You own to something. You own to something. Because once you know something, you cannot unknow it, right? You can't unknow it. You don't go back. You don't go back to sleep. You can't just unknow that it's just effed up. Like, you can't unknow it. Like, that's like, you can't unknow that Trump was running around BFFs with Epstein. Like, you just can't unknow that. You just know it now. So now we're moving in this world with this new information, and we got to figure out, okay, well, how do you digest this? So a lot of people, they're digesting it through asking questions, because I always say smart people ask questions. So people got questions. And people like Trump and the powers that be, they don't want you asking questions. They're like, no, I told you it's this. Now accept it and move on. And we're like, no, that's not good enough. That's not good enough. And so that's a problem. It's a problem that when people are saying that's not good enough, I want more, because there was a time when it was once good enough. Hopefully you all can still hear me. Can you still hear me? That's not good enough. Brolena says, once you see how another country does something better than yours does, you start asking questions. Yes, thank you. And not even just questions, not just even countries, Brolena. It's even just states and cities. Like my husband and I, we done some traveling recently, and he had to go to Chicago for work. And it's just so funny because he came back just raving and just really loved Chicago. And lately I've just been hearing people say all these great things about Chicago. But me covering politics, and I'm used to hearing the doom and gloom about Chicago. And I'm like, oh my God, like, what do you mean? They're killing people there. They're doing this, and that. But, you know, like with any place you go, you got certain parts that are better than others. So you're going to have your good parts and your bad parts. So apparently the inner, city of Chicago is this beautiful place. People love to go there, the tourists and everything. But my husband found that city, in comparison to Atlanta or Georgia, to be the inner city to be ran more efficiently than Atlanta. And then when we recently traveled, to California, we were in San Diego, the same thing there. So that's why it's good to travel, because you're able to see how people do things and how it may differ from what you do. And then, that can prompt like ideas that maybe you can take back and things you can propose to people within your community. Brolane, you say, yes, Chicago has amazing parts. The city is beautiful, clean, and efficient. Yes. So everyone just keeps saying that. So like next year, it's on my bucket list to try to check it out next year. But he just loves Chicago. He was like, oh my God. I mean, and, so, I just encourage anyone to just step out of your comfort zone. Go to someplace different. And I think that's a problem with a lot of people, why they can't understand other people's perspectives and point of views and things like that. Because you have a lot of people who are just stuck in their bubble. How many of you know people to where they just stuck in their bubble to where they can't come outside of that if their life depended on it, to try to see things from someone else's perspective. I don't like talking to people who are just so closed-minded and just feel like their way is like the only way. I don't like that, because there's multiple ways that you can do things. And just because you do it one way and it works for you, it doesn't mean that it can't be done another way and it still work. And I think it just has a lot to do with just me, and I'm not even from Georgia, just how I've moved around. I'm a person, I'm an example of someone who lives in a space, who lives someplace where I'm not originally from. And same as my husband. So like when we go to places, it's very easy for us to kind of put on a different set of lenses to see things from other points of view, because we're not kind of stuck on one way of doing things, because we've had the luxury of living in different places to experience how things are done and to form an opinion on what seems to be efficient versus nah. Some people ain't never done nothing different or tried anything different. So the only thing they know is how they do things. So there's nothing you can say or do to convince them or make them to understand that okay, I'll be in. There's nothing you can do to convince them or make them understand that there's another way of doing things. And that's very sad. That's very sad. And I think you have a lot of people like the Democratic Party that will get caught up in that, because to them, it's just like there's no other way to vote. It has to be this way. It has to be that way. Angela said, read the comments real quick. You're missing the other people's point of view. Let me see. Which comment, Angelo, did you have? Um, but yeah, it's like you have to be, you got to be open for other people's point of view because it can broaden your mind. And that's all. That's pretty much my main point. It's just like, don't be just stuck in a box. Be open to hear what somebody else has to say, or their thought process or whatever, because it can maybe have you to start thinking about things differently. So that's me, that's just how I roll. It works for me. It allows for me to be able to connect to people very easily, build relationships, because I don't struggle in that area with, understanding people. I believe in meeting people where they are. So it's not about me trying to convince you to come over where I'm at. It's like, okay, hey, what you got going on? Let's see how we can collaborate, how we can break bread, how we can meet in the middle. Angelo said, I'm sorry, it's the only mess. I'm like, Angelo, what the hell did I miss? Let me scroll because I don't see. So y'all, thank y'all for joining. Like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, so this was Car Chronicles. Normally I'll do it in the morning when I'm driving in my office, but on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when I go in my office, I'll just kind of talk my talk and commute to work. And then sometimes I'll do it in the evenings like I did today. But otherwise, yes, keep your notifications on. Brolanda said, collaborating and meeting in the middle. 100%. I like that. Listen, that's what it's about. I love to collaborate and meet in the middle. Like, help me help you. Help me help you. And that's just my, mantra. I like that, because I'm just all about just trying to help somebody. And listen, ain't got nothing to do with me. How can I help you? What you need? What you need? What you need? It's not always about you. So when you understand that, and that's just the ability to be able to give and not just be in a position to receive, to just be able to give. So that's the message today, honor students. Position yourself in a way to where you can give. You can do more giving than receiving. How about that? And I think that if we did more of that in the world, I think it would just make a world of a difference, because I definitely feel like we are in need of an energy shift. I think we are in need of an energy shift, and that's needed in order for, the powers that be, the people who are the shot callers, to make decisions, to come in the middle, to meet in the middle, to make these decisions. I think they need this spiritual shift that has them to be open to the idea of coming together and collaborating. Because right now, it's like both sides are like giving the other the Heisman, and it's just like, we need y'all to come together. We need y'all to come together. Berlani says, good, great message. Glad I caught this. I'm glad you caught it too. Thank you so much. YouTube, don't circulate my content as much anymore because of my messaging has changed. Those of you who may be new to my channel, early on, top of the year, my message was very, very hard pro-Trump with how he was moving. And then I would say since the summer, it kind of took a turn because, he started moving in a way that it didn't really, sit well with my spirit. So I started talking about it. I started talking about it. And so YouTube was like, So sometimes they'll shadow ban me. So I will be live and you couldn't just even see that I was live. Or other times will be like now, like where I'll be live and it's just a little bit of people here. If you are day ones, my channel, normally it's like hundreds of people, even can get into thousands of people that will be a part of the live, like watch, like it's crazy. You can look at my other videos and see the type of views that I was getting on the videos. The ones that have super high views, go ahead and click on those videos to see if you want an idea to see the difference of, with my tone and how I cover the content, because I'm very passionate. So whether I'm for how Trump's moving or nah, I'm very passionate about it. And so either way, if YouTube don't mess with the algorithm, it still would bring and, have me to still connect with a lot of people and build a, good following. But YouTube kind of stopped kind of pushing my content out there. So that's when I kind of took a step back and stopped coming out here as regularly once I kind of took notice of what they were doing. So as of late, I've kind of been kind of making my way back, just trying to tap in, just to connect with you all. But that's pretty much what happened. YouTube's really, it seems like if you're not pro Trump and how he's moving, they're not really interested in really having your message get out there. And I don't know if that's just because he's the president of the United States, so they don't really want to push a message out there, anything out there that's kind of against however he's moving. I don't know, because I'm hearing other content creators are also experiencing struggles as well, or the change with their views. A lot of them are just much larger content creators, so they still have bigger numbers than me, but just they're seeing still the change in their numbers. So when you know what type of numbers you normally do, you know when something's been messed with. You might hear some of your favorite content creators talk about being shadow banned, which means that their content isn't being circulated out there. Or you may hear them say, hey, YouTube's messing with my numbers, meaning maybe when they're live, they'll see the different change and flip-flop of the numbers that it shows as far as the people who are watching the live at one time. So all of that, that's what I've been experiencing. So, that's why I don't be on here as much as I used to, because I'm like, well, this is my message and it is what it is. I'm not going to just say something and just put a message out there because it's favorable to how YouTube may want me to speak. That's just not me. It's not going to be authentic. So if how I speak now does not align with YouTube and how they want me to speak, then it is what it is. And yeah, my channels are monetized, but I don't make money like that to where it kind of makes a difference in my life. So from a monetary standpoint, Tim, you said YouTube collects your history. Yeah. So YouTube knows that with my content and my voice is very strong. I have a strong energy. So no matter what message that I'm speaking or push, whatever, they know it brings out a lot of people. So they're like, okay, let me just hide her. Because if it's something pro-Trump, okay, it's going to bring out a lot of people. But if it's something anti where she's not aligning with how he's moving, that's going to bring out a lot of people too. You see what I'm saying? So one thing also about my channel, it's a very non-biased type channel. It's like I'm in the middle. I don't lean hard one way or the other. I'm very neutral. So that's also something that to me I felt has separated me from many of the other content creators, which have had my channel grow so fast. Because prior to YouTube messing with my channel, I get in the live with over 100 new subscribers after each live. Like I was growing like 1,000, like in a week, I can grow like 1,000 new subscribers. Like it was growing so fast because it's just me, my message, my energy. I can connect. It's just my gift to be able to reach people. So YouTube's like, okay, we can't show her content out there. We can't let people see her, because if people see her and hear her, they're going to come running. So we just got to hide her. So that's what they've done with my channel. Brolena say, and the sad part is you're pro change and pro collaboration, right? And like I said, I'm just pro. That's the thing. But I think YouTube, I'm like a wild card. I think they see with me, to where it's just like they don't know what way on my live I'm going to go on any day. Because like I said, I talk things based off of what's going on, not red or blue. Like most of the content creators who cover politics, if you'll notice, they're hard one way or the other. They're pro-Trump or anti-Trump. As soon as you go on their live, their videos, you'll be able to quickly tell. With mine, a lot of people will be confused. They'll come in and they'll be like, okay, is she for Trump? Like they would be so confused, because they may catch me on a day or at a moment where I'm talking favorably about how he's moving. But then on a different day, some people may join the live and catch me in a moment where I'm talking against what he's doing. So people but that's because I'm all about just how you moving. I don't judge you just as just a whole. I'm looking at, what are you doing? Like, what did you do today? Because everybody don't move. Like some people, you can make one bad decision, but then on another day, like you did something good. You know what I'm saying? So I want to acknowledge, like, when you did something good, even though, okay, you effed up when you did that, but I see you. I see what you're doing. I see you did your big one right there. You see what I'm saying? So I can recognize when something is done good and when something isn't. And I just speak on the different things. So that was a unique thing about my channel. And I think that's why it made it grow and be so successful, because it was like that. So with that being said, YouTube can't really put me in a box because they don't know on any given day what way I'm going to go. They just know whatever way she goes, she going hard in the pain. It's going to be passion. People going to go come through. They finna be clicking, all of that. So they were like, okay, let's just hide her because we don't know. Just because we don't know what the hell she about to do, what type of time she finna be on, we just finna go ahead and hide her. So that's what I feel like has happened with my channel. So yeah, so I've been just doing some other things. I come out here, when I can. But yeah, if you all don't see me as much, that is why. But definitely make sure you check out the content when you do see that I've posted something, because you may have just missed the live, and just be a part of the replay gang. Any type of support is greatly appreciated. Sharing the content, watching the content, liking the video. It's the little things for me, as I like to say. Yeah. Go out into the world, show up in a way in which you want others to show up for you. Like attracts like. Brolena says, yes, free individual thinker. That scares some people, but glad you're well. Thank you so much. Glad to see you too. I hadn't seen you in a while. But you all stay tuned. I'm sure I will be back. It's a lot of shenanigans going on in the world. So just stay tuned. Make sure you have your notification bell on so you know when I do go live. But make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. And I will catch you on the next broadcast. Peace.